Shocking moment. The hall is silent, all eyes fixed on her. A princess, a future queen, expected to follow the script. But then, she doesn't. In that single breath, the weight of centuries trembles. A tradition broken, a crown challenged, and the world holds its breath. For generations, the Spanish monarchy has been built on ritual, ceremony, protocol, every gesture rehearsed, every word measured. But on this day, Princess Leonor refused to simply recite history. She chose something else, something braver, something that none expected. The crowd expected obedience. They received defiance. They expected the past. She gave them the future. What did she say? What did she do? And why does this moment matter more than most will ever realize? Let us step back. Before this moment of shock, Leonor had been seen as the dutiful heir. The quiet daughter of King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia. Beautiful, graceful, reserved, always correct, always respectful. A figure trained for the throne since childhood. But beneath the crown, she is also a young woman shaped by a new Spain. A Spain of equality, of democracy, of voices demanding change. She has watched her generation struggle, fight, and dream. And in her heart, she carries both the burden of her ancestors and the fire of her peers. That fire burst forth on this day. Imagine the hall. Royal officials lined in dark suits. Nobles stiff with expectation. Cameras ready to capture another perfect royal moment. And then Leonor steps forward. She does not bow her head. She does not repeat the ancient formula. She lifts her gaze. And in clear, unwavering voice, she speaks from the heart. Her words slice through the air. Not disrespect, not rebellion, but truth. A declaration that the monarchy must evolve, must bend toward the people, must live not only in ceremony but in reality. Shock ripples across the room. Some gasp, some smile, and some, those bound by centuries of tradition, tighten their jaws. But she continues, stronger now, speaking of duty not as privilege but as sacrifice. Speaking of a crown not as inheritance but as service. She speaks of Spain, not as a kingdom of silence but as a nation of voices. And suddenly, the future feels different. Why did she dare? What pushed her to break the script? Perhaps it was her mother, Queen Letizia, a woman who herself defied the rules by marrying into the crown as a commoner, a journalist, a woman of conviction. Perhaps it was her father, King Felipe, who has struggled to restore dignity to the monarchy after scandals and shadows. Or perhaps it was simply Leonor herself, the girl who has studied, trained, and quietly listened for years, deciding that the time for silence had ended. Her words draw strength from history. Spain has endured dictatorship, revolutions, and rebirths. Its monarchy has fallen and risen again. But rarely has a young heir stood before the world and chosen to break with the very traditions meant to bind her. This moment is not just a soundbite. It is a signal, to Spain, to Europe, to monarchies everywhere, that the next generation will not be content with empty rituals. That the crown must stand not above the people but among them. The reaction, divided. Loyalists whisper of recklessness. Progressives cheer her courage. And the world watches, replaying her words again and again. What does this mean for the future? Will Leonor's courage inspire reforms within the Spanish royal house? Or will the walls of tradition push back, harder than ever? Consider the irony. In breaking tradition, she may have saved it. For a monarchy trapped in history risks fading into irrelevance. But a monarchy that breathes with the spirit of its people, such a monarchy might yet endure. Her defiance was not rejection. It was renewal, not rebellion, but rebirth. And in that moment, Princess Leonor was no longer simply a daughter of the crown. She was the voice of a generation that demands honesty, a generation that values love, fairness, and courage over scripted obedience. The cameras captured it, the world replayed it, and the people felt it. A shocking moment, yes. But more than that, an unforgettable one. A moment when the future queen broke tradition, and in doing so, wrote herself into history. Now the question remains, what will she do next? What other traditions will she dare to confront? And when the crown finally rests on her head, will Spain see a monarch of ceremony or a monarch of change? The answer lies not in the silence of palaces but in the heartbeat of a young woman who dared to stand tall. Who dared to speak. Who dared to break the script? Princess Leonor, the future queen, the girl who stunned the world, and the woman who may yet redefine it. Because sometimes, to protect a crown, you must first break the chain that binds it. And in that shocking moment, the future of Spain changed forever.